This is your psychic girlfriend, Robin Richardson. And if you're like me, you're interested in how the universe works and in all things mystical. So let's explore it together. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the podcast. Hello, it's Robin Richardson, your psychic girlfriend. And today, we're diving into a powerful truth that can shift the entire way that you show up in life and love. Okay, and this is such a cool thing, but a lot of people might get a little triggered by this. And it's a Neville Goddard concept called everything is you pushed out. And I know that sounds intense, and for a while I resisted it. But it's actually one of the most liberating teachings that I've ever come across, because it means you have way more power than you think. So, in this episode, we're going to break down what this phrase actually means and how it plays out in real life, especially when it comes to your inner world and your love and relationships, and how it can start shifting you so your outer world begins to reflect what you really want and not what you don't. And we're going to use the love subject matter because I know everybody wants that. So I do too, right? All right, so are you ready to take this work a little deeper? Because I've got a free gift for you, more at the end. So, who is Neville Goddard? Neville Goddard was a spiritual teacher in the 1900s who taught that your imagination creates your reality. Pretty cool, huh? He didn't just daydream or mean daydreaming. He meant that your thoughts and your feelings and your assumptions literally shape the world that you live in. He said things like, assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, or change your concept of yourself and you change your world. I love that. All right. So, what is this idea? Everything is you is pushed out. Everything that is you pushed out. And where does that come from? And it means the people, situations, and even love interests that you attract are mirroring your beliefs, your inner narrative, your inner conversation, your energy. It's not about blame. Okay? I want you to hear this. It's not about blame. It's about becoming conscious of what vibration you're vibrating at. Okay? So think of yourself as broadcasting energy. So if your inner world is full of fear, so I want you to take some really hard look at yourself. I want you to take some personal inventory. Of course, like a reporter, not with blame or shame or anything. But if your inner world is full of fear, scarcity, or past wounds, the outside world tends to reflect that. But when your inner world is rooted in self-worth, clarity, and love, that's when things shift. So let's talk about what that actually means. And it's not that you're manifesting every little thing consciously, but rather your subconscious beliefs are always influencing how people show up, what opportunities land, and what patterns repeat. So as within, so without. Your self-concept, your identity you carry deep down is shaping how the world treats you. But if you expect to get ghosted or criticized or abandoned, you might unconsciously attract people who will fulfill that expectation. We've heard of self-fulfilling prophecies, right? Okay. But if you assume you're magnetic, worthy, and lovable, you might unconsciously, you might start to like see your world shift. So you're going to change your unconscious and change how you live in the world. It's pretty cool. And this isn't just woo-woo stuff. And I love the woo-woo stuff, believe me. Even quantum physics points to the observer effect. The energy we hold influences what we experience. And my favorite Dr. Joe Dispenza says, your personality creates your personal reality. And just, use your life laboratory and play around with these concepts a little bit. All right, so let's make it real, all right? Let's say you keep attracting emotionally unavailable people. The pattern might be, I have to prove I'm worthy of love. Right here, okay? That was mine. People always leave. I get close and then I'm abandoned. Do any of these patterns feel familiar to you? That energy, that assumption becomes the filter you see through and the frequency you emit. So it's like putting glasses on and only seeing these belief systems continue. And that's why everybody argues for their reality, right? Everybody argues, well, that's my experience. That's what's happened. Well, let's take a little deeper dive here because you have more power than you know. All right, so maybe you've been single for a long time and you tell yourself there's no one out there for me. I've said that. And maybe I'm too much or not enough. Well, that becomes your energy blueprint, okay? And it plays out again and again and again like a broken record until you decide you want to rewrite it. You really have to have awareness of what those energy patterns are doing in your head, right? So the good news is you can rewrite it, okay? So how do we start shifting our inner world? And here's how you take your power back and start calling in what you do want. Here's step one. Get honest about the story you've been living. And I don't mean blame yourself. Don't feel bad about you know what I mean? Like, don't do the pity party. We can all put away our tiny violins. We really can. But ask yourself, what do I believe about love? What do I honestly believe about love? What do I believe about myself and relationships? If love keeps showing up this way, what part of me expects it or assumes it? Maybe journal around that. Like, really get clear about what you're telling yourself. So an example could be, I always have to be the one initiating or the one chasing. Or people leave me once I become vulnerable. I had somebody tell me once that they thought that I would leave them if I knew who they truly were. They didn't feel like they could reveal themselves. And I'm like, wow, that really wasn't the environment that I was trying to create. But that was an interesting pattern that this person had, right? Step 2 is to start rewriting this script. So here's where you become the version of you who already has the love you want. So affirmations I love. And you know what? Some people knock the affirmations, but some of them are, I am safe to receive healthy, lasting love. I am chosen, cherished, and respected. Love is easy and it naturally flows to me. So, those are some things that you can try out. You can say these when you're falling asleep because your subconscious is wide open at the time, and that's when rewiring is the easiest. If you're familiar with Dr. Lipton's work, he talks about in The Biology of Belief, I highly suggest you read it, how our subconscious runs most of our life unless we reprogram it. All right. Step 3 is feel it before you see it. All right. Remember how we'd say, I'll believe it when I see it? No, you have to believe it before you see it. So close your eyes. Imagine someone holding your hand, looking at you with love. Feel your nervous system soften. Feel what it's like to be adored, accepted, and chosen. Your body literally becomes the signal, and the universe responds to this signal. So you want to really embody that version that you want to be right now. So ask, what would I wear? What would I do? What would I say if I knew that my love life was amazing? How would I treat myself if I already had the love I wanted? And live from that version. Don't wait for love to show up. You become the version of you that's already living it. So you become the version of you that you want to attract into your life. And every time an old story pops up, just pause, breathe, and gently return to the new one. It takes practice. It's like training for a 5K or a 10K or a marathon. You have to practice. You could probably do it, but it would be painful. It would take a while. So practice, because it's not about being perfect. It's about being conscious. So if you've been wondering why your love life looks like the way it does, just know it's not because you're unworthy or broken or late to the party. It's just a mirror, and you hold the power to change the reflection. And by changing on what's going on inside, and all it takes is a very short amount of time to vibrate at that level, if you're willing to continue to be vigilant about who you are inside. So your love story begins with the love you show yourself, your worth, your radiance, your truth. And if this resonated with you and you're ready to start shifting things on a deeper level, sign up for my newsletter and you'll get a free gift. And you might like it. And you can sign up at yourpsychicgirlfriend.com or click the link in the description below. So let's rewrite your story together. And if this episode helped you, leave me a comment and hit that like button and share it with someone who needs a little love and magic today. And you don't want to miss an episode, so subscribe too. And I'm sending you a big hug, and I will see you in the next one.